In this video, we are going to discuss about port security and how port security helps us prevent CAM table overflow attack. And lastly, we shall lab this up by configuring the switch port on the Cisco packet tracer and verify that our configurations are working well. So let's get started and see how this works. So first of all, port security is a layer 2 protocol, security protocol, which helps us to designate maximum number of MAC addresses which are allowed on a switch port. So port security can be used to configure the MAC addresses which we want to allow on a port, and we can configure the MAC addresses statically, or we can also configure the switch port to learn the MAC addresses dynamically from the port, from the device which is connected to it. So the port security also provides us protection against attacks like CAM table overflow. So this attack, CAM table overflow, is like if an attacker gets connected access to the device and connects it to the switch port and runs a malicious software which generates fake MAC addresses and floods the switch with thousands of fake MAC addresses. The switch will learn the address and try to store those addresses into the CAM table. A point will reach when the CAM table gets filled, and the switch will be unable to register any MAC address then. So that situation will cause the clients to unable to communicate with each other. So that will be the denial of service scenario. So port security helps to provides protection against attacks like CAM table overflow, and we can so how does that security comes from? So when a port is configured with the port security, if any violation happens on the port, for example, if this port is configured with static or dynamically learning MAC addresses, any unauthorized MAC address will not be able to connect to this port. So the port will be in error disabled mode, or it will be shut down based on the configuration we have put on the device. So there are three types of violation modes available in port security. Number one is shutdown. In this mode, port will be disabled and it will generate SNMP trap and syslog messages. Number two is restrict mode. In this mode, the frames will be dropped and the port will not be shut down or disabled, but SNMP trap and syslog messages will be generated. The third one is protect. It will simply drop the frames without any generating any notification, or port will also not be disabled. So that's it for now, and let's move towards the lab segment of this video and try to configure and verify port security on Cisco switches. So this is our lab, and we have connected a couple of PCs to the network switch. We will configure port FA01 with port security, and we shall then configure our switch with the port security, and we shall connect this PC and this PC to the port FA01. So we will perform two violations on this port and see the results. So for configuration purpose, let's go to switch, and we have already entered some configuration. So we are in interface FA01 and configured the port with switch port mode access. So you need to configure the port in access mode, as you will not be able to configure port security on a trunk port. So next thing is to enable switch port security by command switch port -security. This command will enable port security on the port FA01. So next thing is switch port security. and if we enter the question mark, it will provide us context sensitive help, which is we have options available for this command. And we have MAC address, so we will configure MAC address. Here you will have two more options. One is you can configure MAC address by statically assignment, or you can configure the switch to dynamically learn the MAC address. So if I hit the question mark, here you can see that I can enter the MAC address statically, or I can configure the switch to sticky, which will configure the dynamically MAC address. So I will go for option 2, sticky, and hit enter. And next thing is we want to configure the maximum addresses being learned on this port FA01. Excuse me. So for maximum addresses we want to we have option of 12132. We can configure 132 maximum addresses on this port, but we will opt for 2. What this means is when it device, the port can learn 2 MAC addresses. When a third MAC address will be learned, the port will be in the violation mode. So we will configure the violation for this port security and violation. So earlier we have discussed there are 3 violation modes available. So you can cross verify by putting the question mark here. So you can see that we have protect, restrict, and shut down. So in this lab we shall configure this port for shutdown. By default option is shutdown. You can configure protect and restrict based on your policies, company policies. So hit enter. Now we have configured switch port security, and by enable the port security, configured 2 MAC addresses, and configured the port with MAC address sticky, and in case of violation we have chosen to shut down the port. So let's save our configuration by typing WR, and so there are a couple of verification commands for port security. Number one is show port security. So here you can see that we have configured port FA01 with the port security with 2 maximum secure addresses, and in case of violation we have chosen to shut down security action. So currently there are no learned MAC addresses on this, so we can also check port security on port level. For example, interface FA0/1. You can see that port security is enabled, port status is secure up, violation mode is shut down, and current maximum MAC addresses are 2. So currently there is no sticky MAC address on this port, and there are currently no violations on this port. So what we will do is now disconnect. So what we will do is first verify that we have our MAC address. So go to PC0 and generate some traffic 168.10.100, and we are receiving the 100 is the IP address of PC3. So we are generating some traffic so that MAC addresses get swapped. So navigate to switch and let's verify that we have MAC addresses on our ports. Yeah, you can see that FA01 port is we have learned a MAC address of PC0. So let's verify that on port FA01 we have sticky MAC address learned on this port. So we can learn one more address on this port. So let's connect PC1 on port FA01. So for that we need to disconnect PC0 and connect our PC1 with port 1. So let's try to generate some traffic for this 10.100. So the port is up, and let's check out the MAC address table. As you can see that we have learned another MAC address on FA01, and we need to verify that we have learned another MAC address on port FA01. And you can see that sticky MAC address is, we have learned two MAC addresses. We have configured maximum MAC addresses to be 2. So let's verify that we have, so you can see that we have two MAC addresses learned on FA01. So if anyone else tries to connect on the port FA01, the port will be in the shutdown state, so as per our configuration. So let's verify that. So we shall disconnect the PC 1 and try to connect PC 2 to switch port FA01. So let's go to PC 2, and the moment I generate some traffic on this port, the port will be disabled. So keep noticing that it is currently amber state and currently in up. So as soon I hit enter, you see that port is now disabled. So let's verify that we have actually made a violation of port security by going to switch, and you can see that interface FA0/1 has changed to down state. So let's verify by executing the command show port security. Interface FA0/1, and you can see that currently we have a count of 1, a security violation of 1. We have learned maximum 2 addresses, and we have a 1 violation for this, and you can see the port status is secure shutdown. So that verifies that we are successfully configured our port with port security, and our configurations are working well. So I hope this video have been informative for you. If you like the video, please subscribe our YouTube channel